It is the Riot Podcast. It is the Monday, August 1st edition. It's our second day without Nikki. Isaiah, 2 days with me only in the studio. Is there anything you notice about, be honest, just being just you and me when you're with me constantly instead of coming in here and there?
I would say, there's a difference between when Nikki's here and when it's just you. When Nikki's here, you guys kind of balance out smell-wise. Nikki smells really good. You smell not so good.
Yeah.
So when she's not here, the studio kind of has a little bit of a rank stank to it.
I don't think that's me.
But outside of that,
I think it just stinks in here.
I would say there's no big differences.
No?
I mean, I feel like I'm in here a decent amount when Nikki's here, so I've been around you guys for a while now.
Yeah, but maybe you're just not very observant.
Why? Something new about you?
No, I don't know. I was just saying.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I don't know. I just feel like if you're in a room with somebody for several hours versus coming and going, that you might pick up on different stuff that they do.
I haven't picked up any weird things yet.
No weird things?
Not yet. I can't really see you all that well
I guess
from where I'm
true.
sitting.
Yeah,
I can
that's a good
see your
point.
eyes
Uh-huh.
and your nose. I can't even see your chin.
You can't? Do I need to sit up higher?
I can see it now.
Maybe you're noticing I have poor posture.
Yeah, I can only see your eyes, essentially, and sometimes your mouth. So for the most part, I would say I haven't noticed much.
Okay. Well, we'll move on from that then.
Yeah, I also, we started the show by talking about some deal breakers in relationships, one of them being the whole boneless wings versus traditional wings debate, and whether if your person you're on a date with orders that, it could end in not so great for the date if it's not the one you want them to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think people, when they have such specific ideals of the type of person they want to be with, and I think that's to their detriment.
Yeah,
sometimes
I
you
think
gotta
it's
have a person that will disagree with you or that isn't what you initially had in mind because it expands your horizons. It opens up your mind.
Yeah, you don't want to be the same person. I think you shouldn't be if you're dating. Did you have any dating deal breakers? Like if you went on a date and the person did this or was like this, that it was just game over for you.
It feels like it was so long ago, so I don't even know at this point.
You don't have any, you can't think of any? I know, I have one big one.
Okay.
Smell.
If they don't smell good?
You have to smell good.
Okay.
If you don't smell good off first, that should be the first thing that I notice about you. Because girls usually smell good. Like they have a good scent to them. Where if you have no scent at all, that's fine. If you're just normal smelling.
Yeah.
But if you smell bad,
then
I'm like, how'd you even get to that point?
That's a tough one.
How do we even get here? Usually I feel like they naturally smell good.
Well, is that something you've run into?
Girls that smell bad?
Yeah.
Not usually.
No.
But if I did,
that would be it.
Then that would be a right off the rip. This probably isn't going to work.
I don't know dating deal breakers for me. Like if I just met you and I'm going to say no. Just if somebody's really quiet. That was
really
tough.
Quiet.
You know, you might think me, radio guy, I just want to dominate the conversation. I'll talk about myself all day long.
Pretty much,
But the truth is, I want to have a conversation. I want somebody that stimulates my mind.
Oh.
And so I need you to contribute a little bit.
Yeah, I feel
and
that's
Isaiah,
fair.
keep that in mind for yourself as well.
Oh, yeah, I'll keep that in mind for me.
And you need to stimulate my mind.
I've been trying. I've been trying so hard. But yeah, I think that's the biggest one for me is the smell based off that cannot be a thing.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also talked about if you're prepping for Halloween already, it may be time to stock up on some candy.
Yeah, we found out from Hershey's that it looks like they are planning on potentially having a Halloween candy shortage in the interest of keeping candy on the shelves now, leading up to Halloween, that once it gets closer to Halloween, they won't have a backup plan. They won't have a stockpile, if you will, and so they won't have as much to sell. But what I also saw is, their competitor, Mars.
Yeah.
And Mars is releasing oh, look at the new stuff we're coming out with for Halloween. In other words, trying to say, while Hershey's is going to run out of stuff, we've got all kinds of new, themed ooey gooey Twix or something, spooky stuff like that, spooky Snickers.
What is the differences between Mars and Hershey's? What does Mars have?
I believe they do Snickers and Twix.
Oh, wow.
And
So
they
got some
definitely
good
do
stuff.
M&M's, which is a big one. Whereas Hershey's is definitely Reese's and Twizzlers and obviously the different kinds of Hershey's bars. And then I don't know other than that.
So, but it seems like you would think, based off of name alone, that Hershey's dominates.
You
Obviously.
would think, because you know the Hershey's name.
You know the Hershey's name, but Mars has some good stuff.
Oh, yeah? They got other stuff I'm not thinking of?
Well, I mean, just overall, like when I look through it, they obviously have like the Snickers and whatnot.
Well, a
So,
lot
like,
of the variations of Snickers are real good.
Snickers, Twix, like those are two big ones.
Uh-huh.
If you then you go over to Hershey, obviously you have like all the Hershey stuff, but none of it's really that good. Like Hershey's chocolate straight up, like a chocolate bar is average.
But they have Reese's though.
But Reese's, is it better? I mean, for me, I prefer Snickers.
Oh no, Reese's is the best.
Oh, you put it number one.
Reese's
for you.
is number one. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, for me, I think it's close. I think it's right there. I think I think Snickers and Reese's like even out at the top for me.
I've got one last question for you. Do you remember? Here's one of the reasons Hershey's is better because they have their own theme park.
I've been.
Do you remember measuring yourself by the different candy bars at Hershey's World?
Ooh, I don't remember
what's it
doing
called?
that.
Hershey Park? Yeah.
I don't
You
remember
never did
doing
that?
I'm sure I did, but I was like little when I went there. I haven't been there in like 10 years.
You need to go back and see if you're a Twizzler or a Reese's height.
Oh, yeah, true.
Or a Hershey Kiss.
Oh, man. They have Twizzlers too. That's also Hershey's.
I know
That's
you
a
love your
big bonus.
Twizzlers.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Twix are good though. That's a good second fiddle for Mars next to the Snickers. Where Hershey's, I don't know. We go back and forth.
You know what? I think we have room in our hearts for both.
I think we do. I think I can share. Even though Hershey's name is like much bigger, Mars is underrated.
They're doing all right.
They've got some good stuff.
Well, enjoy today's podcast, and we will be back again tomorrow, won't we?
We will. We'll see you guys then.
It's the Riot.
It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
What was it back on Friday? It was National Chicken Wing Day. Did you get any chicken wings this weekend, Isaiah?
I did not. Actually, I did.
You
did? I
did?
got tenders. That's like close.
It's close.
I got wings over. That's like chicken wings.
I mean, it has wings in the name.
Exactly. So that counts.
I guess it'll count. We'll let it slide. Hidden Valley Ranch for National Chicken Wing Day tried to gauge some public opinion on different things regarding chicken wings. For example, they found that basically about 75% of people won't judge you if you lick your fingers after eating a chicken wing. Are you a finger licker?
I am a finger licker.
I'm a finger licker too.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't. But do you have any hesitation when we go out for wings fairly often here at Radio U? We like the old Quaker Steak and Lube, for example. Do you ever feel any hesitation when you're around the Radio U crew or around your friends?
No.
To lick your fingers? You just go ahead.
I'll just go ahead and do it. I've done it on the show multiple times. I catch myself doing it when I go back and watch our food fights. Like me licking my fingers.
I noticed that.
I've done that many a times.
With reckless abandon.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Dive in with the finger licking. So wait, you've caught yourself? Like you think you should stop?
I think that, I don't know. It feels different like when you're on video.
Like worse?
I think it feels worse,
Because
yeah.
there's 25% of people that will judge you and they might be watching.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't know, when you're in your personal like day-to-day life, no one's really paying attention to you. Like when you're eating at a restaurant, nobody's like looking at you thoroughly.
Case in point, I never noticed that you were licking your fingers
Exactly.
when we do our food fights.
But when people are like watching like the food fights, like obviously they're actually watching us, so it makes me feel more uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I get that, but I think you should. I always find that in my mind that licking your fingers is a sign of a good meal. It's a compliment, even
A good meal?
Yeah,
I
because
get- yeah.
if the stuff on your fingers is nasty, then or you just
wouldn't
didn't
lick
enjoy
'em.
it, yeah, you'd wipe it off with a moist towelette, perhaps if it's a wing. But if it's a wing sauce you just enjoyed, then they want to get that one last taste of it.
Yeah, it's like licking the plate when you're done with it.
That's why. Well, that feels a little different.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of like when my dog like licks his bowl. Like he's like really wants every
He's
article of
saying,
flavor
my
there is.
compliments to Blue Buffalo.
Precisely.
Okay, they also found. Are you more of a drum or a what's the other kind called? The flats. Are you a drum or a flat?
Oh yeah,
You're a flatter.
No, I think I'm a drum guy.
I think I'm a flat.
Really?
But I just gotta go with the flow.
I like
Whatever
the
they
drums
give me.
better. I think it's because the flats don't usually have as much breading on them as the drums do. I feel like they have more breading, and I'm a breading guy. I like the breading.
I think you get better meat on the flats.
Yeah, I think you do too.
And I'm not alone. 25% of people say the flats are better. 33% are with you, say the drums, but 42% say they don't really care, which is truly where I lie. Now, here's
me
the
as
one.
well.
Here is the question that they really asked that is really the kicker. They asked people, would you dump a date for disagreeing with you over your stance on traditional or boneless wings? Now, this is something you mentioned on National Chicken Wing Day on Friday.
I did.
You brought this up. There should be no judgment. But surprisingly enough, 25 or 24% of people would not go on a second date with someone who thinks that boneless wings and traditional wings are equal.
That's the wildest thing I've ever heard.
That you wouldn't do that? You
No
wouldn't
one
be out
would
on
do
a date
that.
with a gal and
If you have a good date going and you're like, well, she was great, she was super fun, she was really funny, but she likes boneless better. I don't know what it is. She likes boneless better than traditional when she has a hard stance on it.
Yeah.
You would go on a second date with them. I don't know who would do in the study. There's no way that they would consider not.
Now, further on down the road, you might run into issues.
Yeah, you might get in some arguments. That's fine.
Whether to go on to Buffalo Wings on Thursday or Tuesday.
Yeah, if you want
Which night you want the deals.
If you want like the buy one, get one BOGO.
Maybe it is better to just nip it in the bud after one day.
I think that it's not that big of a deal.
Not that big of a deal.
I think if you have that hard of a stance on it, then you need to grow up.
That sounds like to me that you have low standards.
It does sound like you have low standards.
Well, happy belated National Chicken Wing Day to everybody.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
Now, I've got some bad news. Halloween right around the corner, really, 3 months from now, basically. And we're hearing here from the fine folks at Hershey's that we may have to go without something that one of the most important parts of Halloween.
What, like chocolate?
Chocolate.
Is it really just chocolate or all candy?
It's candy in general.
What do they mean by that, though?
Well, due to supply chain issues, Hershey's has had to make the difficult decision to whether they wanted to stockpile some of their candy and save it to put on store shelves at Halloween, or did they want to kind of put out some of what they have now, a little more of what they have now to make sure they aren't selling out at the moment, but maybe have less to go around when Halloween rolls around. And according to their CEO, Michelle Buck, last week, they're saying we are prioritizing everyday on-shelf availability versus meeting higher demand at Halloween. So in other words, you may find some Reese's on the shelf now, but when Halloween rolls around and demand gets higher, they're not going to have a backup of Reese's and cookies and cream bars and Whoppers and whatnot. And so you might be in a tough spot.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
No, I don't believe a word she's saying. This is a great business model. We have it today, but in a couple months it may not be here. Maybe you should buy it now. I don't know. Maybe you should buy it now. That's what it sounds like to me.
You think it's just all a move? What
happens after every single Halloween? Every piece of candy is like 10 cents because there's a million pieces left over. I don't believe for a second that on whatever it's going to be November 1st, that there's going to be no candy left on the shelves. I think it's going to be the same it always is. There's going to be millions of pieces of chocolate just sitting there for the taking.
It's going to be the bad chocolate.
The bad ones.
It's going to be the ones that you don't want.
But listen, everybody buys those anyway to hand out to the little kids. Nobody's buying them the Primo Snickers ginormous bars.
You're going to the wrong neighborhood.
They're buying them all the real crappy ones. They're giving them Butterfingers, the Milky Ways, all the stuff people don't want.
It doesn't mean that we're going to completely have no candy leading up to Halloween. It just means there's not going to be as much to go around and people are going to have to make difficult choices.
But why is that, though?
Because because of the supply chain, they don't have enough supplies.
What does that mean? We're low on chocolate in the world? Is that what this means?
They're not able to get it quick enough to manufacture all of the bars and whatnot and cups that you're hoping for.
I guess I'm just confused as to why that is.
I know you don't. You have a simple mind. And
I do have a simple mind.
The dealings in the business world confuse you, and I understand that. But what I'm telling you is CEO of Hershey's, Michelle Buck, says they're trying to keep stuff on the shelves now so that when Halloween rolls around, you might not, they aren't going to have a backup supply of candy, of Hershey's bars and things of that nature. And so you're going to have a tough time if you're handing out candy, which also means people that are handing out candy aren't going to have the same kind of stuff you're used to. And that means if you're going out trick-or-treating, be prepared for more erasers, more pencils, more pennies.
What?
More
You're going to get chocolate, kids.
More stickers.
Stop scaring the children. There's going to be chocolate. Don't listen to a word they're saying. They're just trying to sell chocolate right now. How many shortages have we talked about on this show? Tell me how many times we've actually felt affected in our day-to-day life.
We feel affected.
They're like, oh, we're running low on potatoes. I haven't felt a shortage of potatoes. Or we're running low on fruit, and I haven't felt it.
What about chicken wings?
What about them? I got some this weekend.
Yeah, not now, but before they were an issue.
I don't think anybody's actually had an issue finding any food that's been
What about baby
shortage.
formula?
The baby formula, to be honest, I don't know. I don't have a baby.
You wouldn't know.
If you felt affected by it, you let me know. You can text in. I think there will be chocolate on the shelves for you. I feel confident. Put it on me.
I think there's going to be chocolate. I think it's going to be a smaller amount, and you're going to have to fight people for it. And it's going to be a bad situation.
It's going to be the purge.
This is going to be a scary Halloween, perhaps the scariest we've ever seen.
Hopefully.
This is The Riot. Radio U.
It's 2022, and so I want to let you know, Isaiah, that now you are free to stop hiding your tattoos.
I see I'm not tatted up. No tattoos on my body.
No, you don't have to lie anymore. It's okay.
I don't think I would lie about that. I talk on the radio. Right now I'm wearing slippers, so I don't think you guys care what I show up and look like.
Which is, it's crazy to think that in some day and age, there was a time where slippers would be acceptable in the workplace, but maybe not tattoos, but no longer the case. Probably slippers are still, at this time, more frowned upon, depending on your line of work. I have some new data here, some new advice from experts that says the views by employers on whether certain things are acceptable for your appearance, they're changing, particularly when it comes to like extreme fashion. Think visible tattoos, lots of piercings, maybe a crazy hair dye job. That back in the day, you don't have to go back too many years to where that wouldn't be acceptable basically anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But now, according to, for example, Dr. Enrica Ruggs, she is an associate professor at the University of Houston's C.T. Bauer College of Business. She says that their data shows that although for many customers still, like if you're... if you have a lot of tattoos or whatever, people as a customer may judge you, but here's the good news, because that sounds pretty harsh. The good news is that won't affect the sales of the business. Like if you walk into Boscov's and you see a person with tattoos or whatever, some people are going to judge that person with tattoos, but it doesn't mean they're working there. But that doesn't mean that they're going to not buy from Boscov's. It just means they're going to judge the employee. And as far as the employers are concerned nowadays, all they want to do is sell stuff. All they want to do is make money. And so since the appearance of their employees doesn't affect the bottom line, they don't really care. Yeah,
I think that it just for the most part, it doesn't really matter. It's not as much of a big deal anymore, I guess. At the same time, it depends on the profession. From profession to profession. Like for radio, it doesn't matter. Nobody sees me anyway.
What do you mean? We got a video podcast. You can watch it on the RadioU Riot YouTube channel and Facebook page. It's very popular.
Yeah, but nobody really cares what I look like. They don't care. I don't think it matters for the most part. How I'm dressed or anything like that. But for some people's jobs...
Well, you make that painfully clear.
Yeah,
that
obviously.
Even you don't even care.
Even I don't care what I look like, as you can tell right now. But I think for some jobs, you're trying to look more professional... They your boss will make you hide that stuff.
They do point out that obviously that's not across the board. For example, some, especially maybe older school businesses, will still, for example, different law firms, or they point out Disney World. Disney World has a very strict code that you have to adhere to in regards to your appearance. But generally, if you're just working any old job, they say, feel more free to, if you're going in for a job interview, you still maybe want to interview or research ahead of time the kind of culture of the organization and stuff and see if they might have an issue. But generally, don't be so concerned about if you've got a tattoo on your wrist, hiding that up. That's probably not going to affect whether you get the job or not, as much as just your experience and your knowledge and wisdom when it comes to whatever the business is.
Yeah, I'd say so for the most part. As long as you're you come in professional, I mean, who cares? I mean, everybody's hiring now anyway. You can get a job anywhere. Just keep on trying.
Keep on trying. Isaiah, go ahead. And I know you've been holding off on getting that hair dye job. Go ahead.
Go on pink.
Whatever color you want.
Maybe red.
We'll accept it here at Radio U.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Well, the news came out this morning that Deshaun Watson, quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, it turns out he will be the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns this season. Many were expecting, after all of the settlements he's reached, all the allegations that have taken place with numerous women. I mean, what is it? At least, do you know the exact number, Isaiah?
I think it was 26.
26 total.
Something around
it's
that
in
number.
The high 20s.
Yeah.
Of women that have just made various accusations against him, and all of them have ended in, or almost all of them have ended in some kind of settlement.
Except for one. I think there's one left.
One outstanding. But no criminal charges have really gone through. But the question was, even with all that being said, how much would the NFL suspend him for? So it went to a mediator, basically, a judge, a retired
Sue Robinson, I believe
a retired
it was.
judge, Sue Robinson, and so she kind of helped them hash things out, and eventually the decision was made today: 6 games suspension for Deshaun Watson. How are you feeling as a Browns super fan? Of course, there's all the off the field stuff that you take into account, but just for you on the field now, looking forward to the season, you know what you're getting into. How does that feel?
You know, I feel like relieved now. I just want to know who the quarterback was going to be. You think about we're now only about 3 weeks away, and up until this point, we didn't know if he was going to be suspended for a year, if he was going to be suspended at all. I assumed there was going to be some sort of suspension the whole time. I thought it was going to be somewhere between 8 games to a year. I thought I wasn't expecting 6 games. I thought it'd be right around the 8-game mark.
Yeah,
and so. I mean, good for Deshaun, good for the Browns. Obviously, he's a good quarterback, so it'll be interesting to see how they are this year. I mean, it's our first year without Baker.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a Baker fan, so I do miss Baker. But
there'll be some growing pains, for sure, a transition period. But, I mean, now you've got to have your sights set on the playoffs, and if you can get into the playoffs with the roster you've got and with Deshaun Watson there, you should have a good chance at and maybe even hitting the old Super Bowl. But
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, it seems like you got off you got off pretty light, and I don't mean he should have been suspended for more. It just seems like the NFL really wanted to suspend him for more, and I guess technically, as far as we know, anyways, he didn't break any laws. He's just kind of gross. And so you can only suspend somebody 6 games for being really gross, apparently.
Yeah, the first game against the Panthers, September 11th. We start the countdown now for NFL season. He returns week 7, which is against the Baltimore Ravens, October 23rd.
Whoa, that'll be a big one. That'll be a tough one. Well, man, it just makes me really excited for football, and I just hope too that with some of these things that you just want them to go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that it's not important to hash these things out in the proper arena, but at the same time, you just want to be able to watch football also.
Yeah, just watch the game. It's tough to have all the off-the-field stuff. You just want to be able to enjoy the game.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I guess I hope we meet in the Super Bowl, you and I.
Oh, wouldn't that be grand?
Aaron Rodgers against Deshaun Watson. I think... if anything is going to end the NFL, that might be it.
That might be the end of it.
Thanks for watching the worst of the Riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more Riot.